Welcome to your magical mood message. This is the peace demon. And the moon is in Gemini. The sun is in Virgo. Don't mind my beautiful pimple. Whatever that is. This is it, y'all. It's happening. I want you to think that at this stage of this lunar phase, we're not only turning the dial, this is like a revolving door, literally shifting you into a new reality. So the moon in Sagittarius was the seeds that broke free, that you planted the new moon in Virgo, the moon in Sag. Then we had the full moon. Now we're at the quarter square, the third quarter square. The new moon gave us new analysis. It's coming into like new details, right? Breaking new analysis. We just discovered insert facts, right? Insert new routine. Cool. The moon in Sagittarius, like a critic, given that Virgo is the critic, fourth house of Sag helps you uncover hidden meaning. So the moon in Sag, relative to the new facts you sparked in new moon in Virgo, helped you understand what those facts mean. Cool. Then we completed that reasoning and meaning in Pisces, which we're now harvesting coming into Gemini, which is giving us an enlightened understanding of how to think about these new facts, how to integrate these new details into our reality. And this moon in Gemini represents the completion of the harvest phase, so that after you spend from moon in Pisces to moon in Gemini, or from full moon to third quarter square, harvesting your crops, then that 10th house axis is you looking at all the crops you've harvested. When you get paid in a job, you have gross income and then you have net income. So you can think of the 11th house, which is rewards from career, the 10th house as gross income. And then you can think of the second house, which is your own possessions, as the net income. The 11th house is where you take everything that you have harvested, right? So the 10th house is everything that you've harvested. It's your legacy. It's the results. It's the 10th house. It's the accomplishment. And the 11th house is where you now start to divvy it up. 2 barrels go here, right? The 11th house is the house of friends and associates. Okay, this goes here. This goes to you. This goes to you. If you worked in a team, of course, to build this, right? And then, of course, what goes to you goes to your second house. And then after all that's divvied up, then you have the balsamic phase in the 12th house that clears the whole field once we've reaped everything. And then we do it all again. New moon, we plant seeds. The new moon we're going to plant is in Libra. Now get this. This is the last week. We're going from third quarter square to new moon. We had the new moon in Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. That was the first season. Then we had the new moon in Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. That was the second season. The moon in Gemini is now wrapping up, closing out Virgo season. You guessed it. We're stepping into the third season, the most intense season. And the eclipse is happening this season. Jupiter's going back into Pisces in the fall season. And the reason why this is so important is, for those who remember what I was saying before, Virgo season this year, during the sacred integration arc, or the divine integration arc, brings a twist. Well, now that the full moon is completed and harvested, this is the twist. This is the twist. It's happening. You're going to understand crucial insight into the truth, moon in Gemini, of what's happening, sun in Virgo. This is going to blow your mind. I'm going to tell you right off the gate. This transit is kicking off with such supreme revelation that will bestow confirmations for things that at the time were Piscean. It was just a belief. You know what I'm saying? You saw synchronicity here and there, and you had reason to believe that something was so. Well, this moon in Gemini brings it more into reality through Taurus, and now it's no longer a belief. You're now literally intellectually understanding the truth of how what was just a thought is actually a reality. Is actually not just you making it up. Is actually not just you thinking it. It's as above, so below. All right. This is in tandem with so much integrations and layers of breaking through activations, closures. So just know that at the start of this transit, everything that you are understanding is still just the beginning. Near the end, we're going to have the Neptune square, and it's going to literally transcend your understanding beyond what you're capable of. And so just enjoy this ride. This, especially if you're a Gemini sun, it's a Christos activation. Cancer sun, you're next when the moon is in Cancer. And the thing that's when the moon transits your natal sun, it's a Christos activation. But and I'll do a video about that shortly. Shout out to Santos Bonacci. I think he came up with the concept. But other than that, or shared that, but I have to emphasize deeper layers of this understanding. Right now, you're on the precipice of understanding the truth of what's happening to you right now and what you are breaking through and harvesting and integrating in a way that's just the initial first page. You're getting ready to come into deeper layers in this one moon transit that by the 29-degree moon in Gemini, you'll understand the full truth of everything that you just did. So hold on to everything you're initially receiving today, because you think you understand it, but it's more shocking than you know. And the way this might have been revealed in very divine fashion should get you excited, because now the 10th house nature of moon in Gemini to Virgo, the critic, who now changes the public perception by revealing critique, right? And expressing the truth and sharing the messages out into the world individually. The key part of this is, unlike other zodiac signs, Libra, Virgo, and I think Leo too, are the zodiac signs whose 10th house, and Cancer as well, are individual. So this is individually defined success relative to, and to also give you insight, if we think about this scientifically, Virgo is analysis and Gemini is experimentation. Aquarius is science, knowledge. Science is just a body of knowledge. So when you hear people say, oh, science this, science that, science catching up to this, people are using idiomatic languaging. Science strictly is just, there could be a science of everything. Anything can have knowledge, right? Unless, it's undefinable. So Virgo is the analysis that lends into research after what? Experimentation. Gemini enables you to set up variables and experiment, right? When I want to take a theory that Pisces Gemini comes from a belief and a thought, I now have to, through experimentation, gain experience and then analyze that experience in Virgo, so that Sagittarius can now synthesize the meaning of the analysis, and then we come back to Pisces and it reinforces or changes those beliefs. That's the astrology of science and experimentation. So at the analytical edge, the new moon in Virgo spawned new analysis. The 10th house nature of completion for what we analyzed being complete is, okay, we've analyzed this data. Now, in order for us to test that what we're analyzing is true, we have to experiment it again. And if that experiment matches our analysis, it's not a theory anymore, baby. I mean, there could be more steps to that, right? Maybe that's not entirely conclusive, but it lets you know there's consistency, right? It lets you know we're going somewhere. If you're analyzing something and then you experiment again and you don't replicate those results, you have to what? Go back to the analysis. So what does that mean, y'all? You started a cycle 3 weeks ago to activate supernatural magical techniques. The full moon in Pisces is harvest, such a quintessential change in your beliefs as you're noticing metaphysical causality between effects of your bodies and thoughts and just strange things that happen and occur. Well, it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. The moon in Gemini is helping you understand the truth of how this magic works. You are now experimenting with your abilities and it's breaking through. Especially with the trine to Saturn, you're strengthening the structured knowledge of what's happening. So that's the difference of it just happening, but you don't know how you did it. No, it's trining Saturn. You're going to know how you did it. And it's also trining Libra retrograde. So you're going to be able to change the way you communicate this to people too. Especially if it was hard for you to put things in words or communicate. This is so fucking awesome. Like, this is literally happening. And Mars is in Gemini too. So the aspect of the moon on Mars is the active function that's going to have you actually do something. So this is Peter Parker accidentally on purpose hitting his web slinger like, oh, that's how you do it. He understood the truth of how to use his abilities. Boom. Dude, this is lit. It's not only lit like this, many of you don't have to know what to do until we step into Libra season, because this short week is going to induce the major twist. This is the mutable square that if you have any Sagittarius placements, y'all are the only ones who actually see what this twist is and what's happening. All right, whether you exploit that to lie to people with the Neptune square or tell them truth is all up to you. Scorpios who progressed in a Sag are counted. Libras who progressed in a Sag count. You know, any Sag placements, y'all are going to be a part, and anyone else in mutable placements too. You're a part of this mutable cross. So you're going to be a magical player that this is happening through. You want to get really excited, y'all. You want to get really excited. There's going to be a much more fundamental understanding of magical principles, hermetic principles, and also how to take higher abstract levels of magic and simplify it. So this is a really great transit to experiment, but this isn't anything you're initially doing. You've harvested the wisdom of your abilities. And this is going to require not too much faith. You really just have to stay in line to the truth of what you know and what you have been analyzing and what you've been experiencing. You're still going down through the rabbit hole. Let me tell you what's going to happen. This twist is going to hit fast. You're going to see crazy news stories in just this week alone, from this third quarter square to the new moon in Libra. And what makes them crazy is that they're synthesizing everything that's happened over the past 2 years, and it's revealing everything that hasn't been true, that you've probably always known, that was probably a lie. And this is going to create enough chaos to step into Libra season proper. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, and this doesn't have to be what you may think it is. This could be certain things that are unrelated seemingly to you or other people, but are still relevant somehow. Okay, so what's very important is this twist, especially with the moon that's going to square Neptune and Pisces, is going to lift your current thinking out of what it currently is and into something beyond what you can see right now. Once this goes into Cancer, this is the final part of the harvest before we clear the field. So this is where you're going to receive where you feel this experience belongs, and we'll step into this. But everything is happening through the full moon, but there's a rapid acceleration with this moon in Gemini shift, sextile Jupiter in Aries. So you're going to be able to communicate and understand how to communicate elements of how you've evolved and can handle situations that before might have been too stressful for you. I wish I could really say this more, but like, you're really going to understand how to express supernatural abilities in ways you've been doing, but you're going to be more conscious of than ever. It's like learning that language. Okay, so listen to your inner voice and prepare for the shift, baby. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's literally happening. It's literally happening. It's literally happening. What's going to happen is you're going to understand through this experimentation or experiences, it's going to click. You're going to understand, okay, this is what I can do to replicate this consistently. And then this short week will montage have you master this, and you're going to take this final mastered Virgoan technique into Libra season, baby. And then you're going to use it for the second boss battle. So So this transit will let you know how you're beginning to do that. Godspeed.